All right, man. I'm gonna say that Nintendo should definitely look at this video. I've been giving out a few of my own 2 cent ideas with other companies, and I think they some of them listen. Like Dr. Squatch, Bath and Body Works, and to name a few. I don't know if I influenced any video game company to listen to my ideas. Hopefully, this will probably be one of many more to come in the future. Because I was gonna mention this video on March of this year, 2026, but I've been very busy, man. I've been up and down with a lot of stuff, and whenever they announced the Star Fox game on the Nintendo Switch, I was actually like many people disappointed, but at the same time, like, wait a minute. I started thinking to myself, if I start ranting and start bashing Nintendo for that, it's basically gonna have opened up a Pandora's box that people opened back in the mid 90s, late 2000s, and then we're gonna be opening one again if we do that. And back in the mid 90s, there was a lot of games that people were getting fed up of the 2D style. They wanted more 3D. So a lot of the people were ranting they wanted something new. So a lot of the 3D games, such as Mortal Kombat 4 or Worm Jim 3D, or I forgot which one it is. They weren't as big as some of the place of the SNES and Sega Genesis games because people wanted to experience something new and they were bashing a lot of the older games. So if they do that, and back then it wasn't as big as it was now in this modern day where everybody talks in the internet and the message spreads. Back in 2009 and 10, we had that as well. People were ranting about Call of Duty, World at War, that it was like very similar to Modern Warfare 2, I think. And they were like, "Ah, another Call of Duty game that's like the same cash grab," and they were bashing that. I remember. And then they were bashing Left 4 Dead 2 because it came in like not too long after Left 4 Dead 1. And as a result, when people were whining about those games, we got a bunch of different games as a result because the majority of the consumers during that time, well, not majority, but a huge, like a good percentage of consumers, they were like sheeps that were bashing the new uh the same old stuff, sorry, and they wanted something new. So we got a bunch of new games, and I feel like that's the era of video games where it was like the worst in my opinion. From 2011 to 2016, I don't care who's gonna tell me otherwise. I feel like that was the worst. Aside from 1984 to like 19 what 79, 78 when the Atari 2600 came out. So I feel like that was worse, but then after that, since video game wasn't as big and prevalent as it is now, the other black sheep of those of video games was 2010 and 16. And now I feel like we're on that precipice of like getting that black sheep series, and probably we might end up beating that. But I feel like if video game companies start going into remasters, remakes, and not just going to remasters and remakes and just make everything the same, but change it up, add mods, add new features, add new a few stuff. Like a few stuff is better than nothing, man. Like Zombies Ate My Never, whenever it came for the port, which some people think it was a remaster, but I feel like it was a cash grab port. It was only one save state and there was no rewind. We don't need stuff like that, man. We need stuff where there's new changes so that people can get into these games because not everybody was born back in the 90s. So we can have a Ocarina of Time. Well, we had an Ocarina of Time back was 2000, what, 16, 17 on the 3DS, but not everybody had a handheld during that time. So if Nintendo goes into another Ocarina of Time, but makes it more so that there's new features like Star Fox, We're gonna have another Star Fox with cutscenes, but then there's gonna be multiplayer features where there's gonna be three versus three, and God, who knows what other features they're gonna have. I want something like that in Ocarina of Time. I want Nintendo to implement the story wise of single player as we're watching right now, but at the same time having a function where they can actually add another game plus where there's um, you know how the 3DS they changed the features with the golden scutellas and other parts they change it like that game mode. Well, something like that, but added more where a lot of the changes items are different and it's like a randomizer so that it'll be more excited. And then add multiplayer function where you can have something like not necessarily co-op, but something like Left 4 Dead, where you had like three versus three or four versus four, and you had the other team um, trying to beat the level, right, and then the other team trying to stop the other people from beating the level. That way, the other team wins. Something like that on Ocarina of Time, and I'll explain it as we watch along this video. Okay, watch this, man. Mod. All right, this looks really, really, really amazing, right? But watch this part right here. Let me just skip it. Watch this part. This, the flying mechanic. Now imagine something like Ocarina of Time, where you can have the function where they rewrite everything, right? And then they can add a new part to the game. Like say this part here, they'll add a new layout here, and then they can add more stuff over here, like a new layout on the side of the desert. They can add new places. Basically, the game will be like 80% the same or 90% the same because remakes, in my opinion, and the most perfect remake that I can give you is Resident Evil 1 remake. The game is like 70 to 85, maybe 90% the same. I think probably I'm more leaning more towards 70% because they added a lot of new like layouts and they added a different type of guns, so not the guns are the same. Some of the zombie mechanics were different. Something like that implemented into this. Now, if we would have something like 4 versus 4, that would be a map where one, it will be divided into two parts, right? Like the Temple of Time will be like the last part of the first half, and then we can probably swap the team in order to see who has the most points, like Left 4 Dead. And then the other one will be like when Link is adult, and then it's the second half, and they can move back and forward. But I don't know, like there'll be like a map, and then somebody would spawn at the wood. The other human, Link, would spawn at the Lon Lon farm. The other human would spawn somewhere in the field or close to the desert, but not in the, necessarily in the desert. And then the enemies would also spawn randomly in places as well. And then have something like a functionality where they can communicate via voice chat or something so they can coordinate the efforts. And then the map would only track the human players or the other players that are on your team. So say There's another Link. You see them on the other side of the like the world map. You can see him blinking. He'll be moving around, so you can actually see more or less where they're going, but you can't see the other enemy players around. Only the enemy players can see themselves, but they can't see the other human players. So the enemy players, I don't know, would be something in fun like one I forgot the names of the enemies. Like it can be one of the ghosts. You see how there's a cloud here and then there's Link flying. Like they can be that ghost flying, moving around, or one of those what's it called? Those pig enemies. That's in most of the Legend of Zelda games. That's attacking. I'm not sure where they come on this part of the game of Ocarina of Time. Mostly bone, skull and bones creatures they spawn as a kid during the night. I don't know, like a Gerudo lady, where she can actually have a bow as a secondary, and the player would be throwing arrows, and then have a primary attack, which would be like a spear. Specific things like that, and then the other human players would get stronger, and they'll share the heart pieces. So if they get a heart piece, um, everything will be shared for the human player. And then for the other enemies, if they get destroyed, they'll just keep respawning in order to actually defeat all of the links um, from actually beating, going to the Temple of Time. Just imagine, dude, having this functionality on this like a future remake of Legend of Zelda, like moving around and then you see another human player moving over here. Or say you're in the mountains and you wanna see them around if you're like an enemy or a friend and you wanna pick them up on a specific object. Like it doesn't have to be like this, like a cloud, but it can be like like a bird or something. Like there's a bunch of other creatures. Like there's that owl that picks you up and makes you go to another place on this game. This is fucking amazing, man. My God. I'm gonna link this video on the description when I'm done uploading. So this such an amazing mod. This past several years, Matt, the community for the mods have been so very what's the word I'm looking for? Very gifted, man. So many mods in the past 10 years that they've been so good that a lot of games that have been coming out lately have started as mods, and a lot of people don't know that. I can name several, man. I can name several. And there's a lot of mods where people have companies where they see it, it's so good that companies like Nintendo have shut down programs because it's so good, man, and it can actually have a cult following or like something that can be addicting, man. Let's look at this last video right here.
Barbara's check engine light is on.
Oh my God, these ads. So this is another mod, man.
Connecting.
I'll be careful with this video since there's somebody talking, so I have to be careful. I don't want to go for copyright. So you see, there's other links here. That's something similar to what I want. Um, as I was explaining on the first video, right? While you're trying to beat the level, and then you have other link players that are roaming around and trying to beat the game. Something like that, but make it more funner in order to have enemy players, like sort of like Perfect Dark, where there's counter cooperative. If you kill those enemies, they'll keep respawning on random places and trying to coordinate at, in order to attack the links in order to stop them. And once they stop them, then they win. And if the links get to the Temple of Time, man, then that means the links win. Or add something different so that links can win. Doesn't have to be the Temple of Time, man. It can be some other game modes that can be included. Like the ideas here are endless. And the reason why I want Nintendo to make another Ocarina of Time is because they've been this past 6 years, man, since COVID, 2020, 2023. I've been getting several games, and I'm not the only one where we've been playing a lot of these new games that are coming out that are just broken, man. And a lot of game IPs have decided to go to remasters and remakes this past 10 years because it's a safer bet. Now, a lot of remasters are quote unquote crappy because they don't put the effort. It's just a cash grab. What the hell is this guy doing? I wish I would have known this guy had a video. Yeah, I just want to avoid the copyright. That's why I don't want to play it. Um, but you get the idea. I'll put the both links. Um, this guy has a face. I don't want to be copyrighted. But yeah, this functionality here, man, of this co-op. Like, look at this one, man. There's another good one. There's another good one, man. I think this is probably the same mod because they had the same items. There's like a freaking warthog, dude. I thought I added this video on the playlist because I remember seeing this video. Where's the part where there's a warthog? Look at that, man. Look at that. Like you can add a universe and add Star Fox into fun fact. There's a small R-wing on Ocarina of Time, man. There's a guy that data mined it and they found a mini star wing that can move around and start attacking you on Ocarina of Time. I don't know who decided to put it there. Maybe they were actually gonna put something more in, but like I said, the mid 90s gaming companies, in my humble opinion, man, did not had a lot of time to um, make like they were forcing and pumping games to be released every 1 year, similar to how it is right now. You see, like every year they release the freaking Call of Duty. It's like GTA 6 is a very massive game. It's been in production for the past 5, 6 years that I noticed, 2020, 21, something like that. And that's how games should be, man. Games that have at least 5 years minimum. And it's unfortunate whenever you have companies that are challenging each other and forcing games to be released every year or every 2 years. Like at least 5 years should be like the minimum. But since remakes or remasters, like remakes are like the number one essential thing. And if you're gonna remake a game, make sure to add features or a mod feature that can add a lot of replayable value into those games, man. And again, like it's one of those things that Nintendo really cares. They'll listen to my idea, man. Because if we start whining about games like Star Fox coming out, and I get it, I'm one of those people that actually do want another F-Zero game coming out. Heck, I want a lot of other games coming out that most gaming companies are ignoring, like Captain Commando has been getting ignored for over 30 years already. So, yeah, I want something so we can actually have another Ocarina of Time, but make it more essential and funner and more addicting. That way, the newer generation can really experience the older, amazing games that we had back in the 80s and 90s, but with a new twist. And I feel like that's kind of the direction many gaming companies like Nintendo and Capcom have been doing. Um, I know I forgot Ghouls and Ghosts got released, but it didn't do too good. I need to still get that game, and I know there's a lot of people that still need to get it. So that's why if Nintendo wants to really need to make people get the Nintendo Switch 2, it's not Mario Kart, even though Mario Kart 8 for some reason is like one of the most sold games. I don't know why. I really don't understand why. It's probably casual people just grabbing it. Um, I don't have it on my Switch, but I'm telling you, these are the games that will make people buy a Switch 2. A new Smash for sure. Ocarina of Time Remake on the Nintendo Switch, but not like the 3DS. Make it so that's much more different and adding more stuff. And then last but not least is what's the other one? Oh, man, I had it in my head. Um, fuck, I forgot. So it's basically those two games, and then there was a third one that I had it in my head, but for some reason I just forgot, man. That will really make people start buying Nintendo Switch 2 because, quite frankly, I don't see anything going for the Nintendo Switch 2, man. They need to really do something. And I know there's a cult following for Star Fox, but trust me, there's not gonna make a lot of people um, buy Switch 2 just for Star Fox. And yes, it was not Mega Man. This was not Mario, another Mario game. I forgot the other game, man, on top of my head. Fuck, man. Anyways, I'm gonna cut this video. Hopefully, Nintendo, if you're watching, please, anyone that works for Nintendo, please listen to other people out there on who's making content. It is a really good idea. Let me know if there's another game that you think should be released on Nintendo Switch 2, aside from this or another Smash. Yeah. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good one. Peace out.